Oh boy, been a while since I've come over this way. I'm not even sure if I can still get through here or what I'm gonna find, but it'll be interesting. I remember the way I went before. I believe this was it. Alright. It's just weird because I feel like a lot of these areas that say no trespassing lead to areas that don't have no trespassing signs. You just have to get onto the trails. Well, this is going to be one of those weird videos. Again, sorry, we're not camping today. But in my mission to continuously provide content every week. Hold on. That's exactly what I'm doing. So, I'm making a video. And today's topic is about how I like to stare at people. Which my wife yells at me for all the time. Because when I'm in public, I see interesting people with that are shaped in interesting ways, and they're wearing interesting clothes, and they just look like they tell an interesting story. And I love staring at people. And I almost don't have any shame doing it. Like, if someone actually caught me and, like, you know, gave me a dirty look, I think I might apologize. But, you know, if they don't notice, I mean, I'll stare at whoever I want. It's kind of how I do. Ooh, there's a fence. I don't need to deal with that. But anyway, so let's see. I had a story. Something interesting happened. Oh yeah, so the other day I was out at the mall, and I was staring at people as I do. It's funny because, like, I'll be staring at someone and then my wife will leave me in the dust and I won't know where she went because I was too busy being distracted by a funny looking person. But I was walking around the part of the mall where they have the, you know, it's like you come to the end where you go up the escalator or you turn around, and then, like, by the escalator there's usually like a sitting area. And so we were walking over towards the escalator, I guess. And in the sitting area, you know, there's a bunch of people there, but on the end there was a young girl and an older man. And the expressions on their faces, I feel like, said a lot about what their lives were like at that moment. She was sitting there. She's probably 17 years old, maybe 16, and she was eating pretzels from, like, the pretzel store. And he was I don't know, he was probably 50, maybe. Yeah, he looked about 50, and he's overweight, and he looked super depressed, and he was facing away from her, and they weren't talking. She just had kind of an annoyed look on her face. Like, you could tell neither of them wanted to be there, and neither of them wanted to be with each other, most likely. And it just struck me as odd. And then as I was looking at her and him, she caught me, and she made eye contact with me, and we locked eyes as I was walking by. She, like, even followed me with her head, as if we were, like, communicating. As if she was like, yeah, check this shit out. But, like, I imagine this is clearly the result of a bad divorce, and it looks like looks like it was that guy's day with his daughter, and, like, this is what he was trying to do to entertain her, and she didn't want to be there at all, you know. And it's just, I feel like it said a lot about the society that we live in today, and the weird ways that kind of forced to deal with ourselves and our problems. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's one that's going to stick with me forever. But more recently, I was out in Vegas a couple weeks ago, and that is a place to people watch. I'll tell you what. You get people from every single walk of life there, and it's interesting. If you just sit down and watch people walk by, it is a real trip, because you'll see people that are, like, from social classes that, like, I didn't even know existed. You know, like, when you see those guys who are like, they're like young men, but they're so immaculately groomed that it's like normal people aren't even taught to do that. Like, there's not a blemish on his face. There's not a hair out of place. Like, he looks like he got his hair cut like an hour ago, and he's wearing a fresh suit. And I see those people, and I'm like, what is your story? Like, where did you come from? So I'm walking down the street one night, and on the strip, and I saw a family that was all dressed like that. And it was like there was a son, a daughter, a father, and a mother. and then what looked like maybe a grandmother, and she had like a veil on her face. I don't know who these people were, but I see that and I think that's a class of this world that I'm so far from. I could never learn to associate with it. I can never learn what they're about. I have no idea where I am. I just deviated from the trail. But anyway, those people are the ones that really kind of get me every time, because I see that kind of style and fashion in airports a lot, and just kind of wonder where they hail from, if you know what I mean. They just appear to be from an unusually wealthy class of human beings. I mean, it's endless entertainment. We're walking down the strip, and then we're actually waiting to cross a street, and there's this guy sitting on the curb, and he doesn't quite look homeless, but you can tell he's probably been on that curb all day. And he's got an entire bottle of Jägermeister sitting next to him and a bottle of Mountain Dew, and he just picks up the Jägermeister and takes a huge swig of it. I was like, damn! I mean, you've either had a really bad day or you're about to have a really bad day. And then just after that happened, my friend and I put cigarettes out in this little, ashtray thing on top of the garbage can, and we don't really smoke that much. Like, I don't really smoke at all anymore, and so I probably smoked half the cigarette, and I put it out, and then right when that happened, some dude just walked in and nowhere, took the cigarette out of the sand and just walked away. It's like, damn. All right. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of that, and it's fun to watch, but you get people that are like, Midwestern vacationers, like just overweight white people that look like they've never been out of their house before. And they're just wandering around the streets, smiling and giggling, and they have cameras and stuff, and it's just like they're your typical tourist. But then you also see like these typical party people that look like they're very, very experienced. They look like they're definitely veteran party animals, and they're walking around, they're drinking, and they're dressed right. I just feel like I could sit in public, stare at these people, and write characters for each type of person. Like if I had like a pen and paper, I could write these descriptions of these people, and you'd know exactly what I was talking about. But lastly, since in Nevada the recreational use of marijuana has been legalized, so they have these recreational dispensaries around. You can go into these dispensaries and you can literally buy pot. So naturally, I had to check that scene out. I had to see what that was like to walk into a fucking store and buy drugs. I'll tell you what. The people in the stores made a much bigger impression on me, because I'm not sure who I expected to see in there. Like, I guess I expected it to be like a hippie scene, and there was going to be like, I don't know, just dirty people who look like they've been living in the store smoking weed all day or something. But like, there was literally every category of person in that store. There was an old man who looked like he could have been my grandpa. In front of me there was like a young couple of these skinny white girl and boy, and they're just she's wearing like little tight white shorts. Like, they look super preppy, and they're just people that I would never expect to see in a weed store. But it got me thinking, like, these are the people that smoke weed. It's everybody, literally. Like, it's not like just the people that you normally associate with that kind of behavior. It's every class of person, So that was very, very interesting. I enjoyed that experience, and I don't know. It's interesting to see where this is going. I think it's just interesting to see that it's not one type of person that wanted it to happen. Wanted it to be legalized. It's a bunch of people. And because it makes me feel like this country's doing the right thing and we're moving in the right direction. It's a beautiful area. I really honestly don't know where exactly I am, but I'm definitely on a power line access road. So we'll see where this leads. I guess I'll head back home. Sooner or later I'm going to start working on my truck, but I need to get tires, and to get tires I need to get my tax return, and to get my tax return, this retarded tax guy that I'm dealing with needs to actually respond to my emails. I think he's one of those people that he's from a generation that doesn't understand email very well, and he never quite latched on to the concept that this is how we communicate in this world. So anyway, I know probably a lot of people aren't into the truck thing, and that's cool. That's fine. I'm just going to do whatever I want to do, because I make YouTube videos, and so I'm going to make videos about what I want. So I thought it'd just be fun to switch it up a little bit, and since I wanted to get into the 4x4 thing, it'll be a good idea just to record that stuff, because there's a lot of content tied up in working on a truck. I think most people are into it, at least people who watched the video and commented they're into it. People who aren't didn't watch it. Because in case you didn't know, I can tell how many subscribers watch a video. Let's go down here and look at this chair. I'd be willing to bet that this chair has bed bugs. Maybe a couple of bullet holes. Oh yeah, it has no bullet holes in it. It's just a good old chair. Oh, I sit on it, but I don't want bed bugs. This is really weird. I don't understand why people dump shit. But I guess if you have an enormous amount of stuff to dump, you're gonna... I don't know. I really don't know. I don't understand. I throw stuff in the garbage and the garbage man takes it. Unless I put cinder blocks on the curb, then they don't take that. This is where I came in the first vlog I ever made. Fun fact. And now look at me. I'm almost somebody. I make enough money to buy oil. Alright. I'm getting out of here. It's been a pleasure dealing with you. People that I don't actually have to deal with because we don't talk, really. We talk after I upload videos. Alright.